Yo people, what's going on? It's your boy John, coming back at you with a very chill and relaxing video. Hope you're ready to real snuggle in. I can't talk anymore, seriously, really snuggle in. Get warm, get comfy, get a coffee or a hot chocolate and some marshmallows if you're a bigger pussy. But yeah, get comfy, because I want to talk about being an introvert. And what it's really like, rather than what the meme pages say or what the YouTubers say. You know, there's a lot of bullshit about introverts out there, and it just pisses me off, because it's like, dude, there's just so many dimensions to being a human being. You can't box yourself in one box. Okay, let's not complicate things. Let's not say introverts are this and extroverts are that, and these guys are better than these guys. No. Okay, the biggest difference between introverts and extroverts is simply this. The only difference, actually, there's no differences other than this. No differences whatsoever. This is what I realized. Okay, this is all I realized, and this is all you need to know about the difference between introverts and extroverts. Okay, one gets energy spending time with people. The other one gets energy by spending time by themselves. That's the only difference. There's no other difference. There's no other difference. There's no difference, literally. Because I've seen extroverts who are not outgoing, and I've seen introverts who are very outgoing, yours truly included. If you saw me in public, depending on the day, of course, you would never know I'm an introvert. I would be in your face. I'd be so fucking outgoing, you'd think this guy's the most extroverted dickhead on planet fucking Earth. There's no one more extroverted than him. Sometimes I can get so energetic in a group of people, that I will be the the life of the party, or I will be the that guy of the group that everyone hangs around and everyone listens to, and he's a sort of holding court, is what the old term that I figured out a few years ago. Holding court. You tend to be the guy who holds court a lot. That's me. I do tend to hold the court a lot. Not all the time, not in every situation. Sometimes I like to just be the listener. Sometimes I like to just be a participant. Sometimes I just like to observe. Sometimes I like to just chip in here and there. But sometimes I just jump straight in. I jump straight in into the sharks, and I'm leading everyone to glory and death and destruction, of course. But the point I'm trying to illustrate is extroverts are not outgoing and introverts are not ingoing or withdrawn. Okay, both can be withdrawn, both can be outgoing. Okay, extroversion is not about outgoingness or being liking people, and introverts are not liking people. It doesn't work that way. Extroverts tend to get on a roll. This is what I've noticed, is when they're around people, they love being around people. They love the sensation of communication, of joking, of just any sort of social interaction they enjoy, they love, and they put their whole heart into it. I'm talking about just extroverts as an archetype, okay? Not every extrovert's like this, but extroverts in general tend to be very, they just get their energy from people. Literally, they just get happy. They get really, they're really outgoing. They're really into the moment, and this goes for all extroverted types, all of them. Even the ENTP, which is a very introverted type compared to a lot of others, and even the ENTJ to some degree as well, because these are thinkers, right? They're extroverted thinkers, which is a funny combination, because thinking is an internal process, but it's extroverted with these guys. But they still do a lot of internal thinking. They've got a very, very strong inner world. Don't let anybody tell you that they don't. They've got a very rich inner world. Some of them maybe even richer than introverts, quote unquote introverts, right? But they still get their energy from people. This is what I've noticed. Even the most introverted of the extroverts, they still get their energy from people. Now me, depending on the day, I can get energized by people. I can just be on a roll. But I'll tell you this, by the end of the day, doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter how social I've been, if anything, the more social that I've been in a day, the more dead I'm going to be when it comes time to sleep. When it's time to sleep, I'll be dead. I'll be broken. I'll be finished. There will be no energy left in me whatsoever. My quote unquote social batteries will have run out, and it has a physical effect on my body. I use a lot of energy when I socialize. using the facial expressions and doing all this and the vocal tones and all of that is energy. It's a lot of energy. So for me, it's like caffeine or coffee. You have a cup, you have a cup of coffee, and it spikes your energy a little bit. Okay, spikes your energy a little bit, and you feel like you're on a high. High lasts for 30 minutes, and then you're dead. Now you're crashing. You're coming down to planet Earth, and you're dying. That's basically what it's like socializing. I love the social aspect. I love to socialize with people. I love people. I love talking to people. I like getting to know people. I like to share jokes and stories and just lead people, whatever. I like being quote unquote extroverted, but that takes a shit ton of energy. It takes a shit ton of energy. And some days I just don't want to talk to anyone because I don't want to waste the energy. That is something I've realized as I've gotten more confident in my life. And as I've gotten more independent, and as I've just learned more about how I work, my introversion is less to do with social anxiety, which a lot of people tend to call you know, if you're socially anxious, I guess you're a fucking introvert. No, because I know extroverts who've got social anxiety, and they don't talk much when they're in social situations, only with people that they're very comfortable with, only with people that they know. But with these people, they become the most extroverted people on earth. They're more extroverted than actual extroverts that are confident in themselves. So, you know, these definitions are malicious. They're very malicious. Social anxiety can affect anyone of any type. Depression, likewise, right? You don't just say, oh, extroverts are more likely to not have depression. No, that doesn't work. If anything, they're more likely to have more anxiety and more depression because they're actually out in the world and they're facing a lot of fucking challenges. You see, when I started getting out into the world a lot more, I spent a lot of my life withdrawn. Not introverted, withdrawn, okay? I was scared of the world and I didn't want to go out into it and I didn't want to experience discomfort. Big difference, okay? I am an introvert. I've figured that out by this stage. I am an introvert. But even that I've been doubting recently because I've just been so social, so out there, so outgoing. But that's got more to do with confidence, less so than introversion and extroversion. Because again, extroversion and introversion is all about the energy. It's not about the social way of communication. It's not about you know, how outgoing you are or how much anxiety you have. It's all about energy. Do you get energized by other people? Yeah, and this can be quite again, I'm going to use the word malicious because let's say you're an INFJ, like me. Let's say I assume with 99% certainty, which is not a lot in my head, but that 1% is pretty big. But 99% certainty that I'm an INFJ. So for me, I know that I'm not extroverted because when I get into extroverted feeling mode, which is the connection vibe, which is the social tribe, all that stuff, that will come out of me. I won't always be in that state. I won't just be downstairs. Let's say I'm in my house. I won't just be downstairs and be in extroverted feeling mode. It's impossible. I'll probably be in intuition mode or thinking mode. Both of those modes are going to be mine. So, and then when someone comes into the room, I'll get a little glance at them, feel their energy a little bit, take a few seconds to warm up after introducing myself or saying hello, and then I'll get into extroverted feeling mode and I'll feel energized by their presence. Depending on their state or their energy, if they've got high energy, I'm gonna just suck that straight in and I'm gonna bounce it right back at them. But let's say I'm having a good day. Let's say I've just smashed my goals. I'm just on a flow. I'm in a flow state. I'll instantly be in extroverted feeling mode because I just feel good and I want to connect with people and share this energy. I want to share this abundance of energy that I've got. If I've got low energy though, I ain't talking. I'm not making jokes. I'm not in feeling mode. I'll be in feeling mode, but it's going to be very superficial. It's not going to be real. And I'm not going to be putting effort in. And I've gotten to the point where I realized, because as a kid I used to fake it a lot more. As a kid I used to be an extroverted feeling, but let's say right now I'm drained, I'm practically falling asleep, my eyes are just dead, can't even keep them open. I'd force extrovert feeling, I'd force it, and it would be very taxing on my body, and I'd feel like I'm wrong because I don't feel right. The reality was I had no energy, and also I had low self-confidence back then as well, so that has an effect on the overall interaction and effects on it, on my body that is, and my mind. But now it's like, if I don't feel like talking, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to be very abundantly clear in my body language that I don't want to talk. I've got no intention of talking. I don't want to talk, and I'm just focused on doing what I'm doing and getting out of here and just enjoying myself by myself in peace. Okay, I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to do connection. I won't be like that 24/7. Extroverts will. Extroverts will. Now, again, it's a generalization that I'm making, because not every extrovert is going to feel on its game 24/7. You're going to have days where you don't feel like talking. You're going to have days when you don't feel like connecting. You're going to have days where you don't feel like extroverting any of your ideas. Right? But yeah, again, don't get too attached to these types, because they're not concrete. They are a prediction. They are it's literally a fine line between being a horoscope and being scientific. It's a fine fucking line in this case. But with extroversion and introversion, what I can tell you is, for certain, it's got nothing to do with how you come across to people. It's more to do with where you get your energy from. Because me, I'm introverted as shit, man. I can't, like, if I spend 3 days socializing, like, I mean, chock-a-block, 6 hours a day, let's say 7 hours a day, I'm just socializing. Let's forget about physical work, just socializing. I will want nothing more than to simply die at that point. Not because I hate the people. I love the people. It's just that I've got no fucking energy. I'm dead. I'm drained. I'm gone. I literally, all I can think about is, when can I get home? When can I just lie on my fucking bed and go to sleep? Or when can I just go and put some music on, or listen to some music, or read a book, or go into nature? Just spend some alone time. I want my alone time. I like my alone time. I enjoy it. It feels nice. I like it. It's free. It feels free, It feels nice. I like it. I get energized when I'm alone, basically. And not even necessarily just in my room. I'm not that kind of introvert. Some days, yeah, if the weather's shit outside and I don't feel like walking or doing any physical exercise, I'll just put on some music on my Bluetooth speaker, some nice lo-fi ambient sort of shit, and I'll just chill. I'll just chill in my room. That's fine. But if I don't want to do that, if I want to do something a little bit more practical, the outside world is the best place, man. And I don't mean going to bars or cafes. Actually, cafes are a great hobby of mine. I'll go to a cafe every day if I had to. But even some days I don't want to I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, I just don't have the energy to give them, because my social interactions tend to be quite energetic. I tend to be quite in your face. I tend to be very, open. I come across as very extroverted to you. But that's my second function. It's usually the function that I'll use to generally communicate a certain point that I have on mind. Usually that's how it happens. Human communication for me is more about finding out that I'm not insane, that these ideas actually do make sense and they are applicable to the real world that I've got about the world, and this other person is reflecting this to me through our little communication that we're having here, this little dialogue, right there. And of course, that sounds very analytical and robotic when I put it that way, but I'm just describing to you the general concept behind the way I function. It's not that I know these little bits when they're happening. It's more like, looking back in retrospect, I can see how I'm functioning. And my extrovert feeling will depend based on what idea I've got in my head. If I've got an idea about materialism, like my last video, then I'm gonna speak to people in a way that's gonna lead the conversation to this element. It's gonna go there eventually. It's gonna happen. We could start talking about bananas and the parties that's going on and how shit people are, and then it's gonna go to materialism. It's gonna happen eventually. I'm gonna suck them in, and I'm gonna use this person as a nice little guinea pig to see whether or not this idea that I've got is reflected back to me. And if there is a disagreement, where are the disagreements, and what is this person's points? Yeah. So again, my human experience is all about learning. I want to learn more about not only people, but my ideas, whether or not they're even can they even be formulated in the real world? Are they even that tangible where they can be applied? And do other people have experiences with this? And if they do, their experiences are more valuable than any fucking book I could pick up. And it sounds ironic coming from me, because I'm always talking about reading, but I fucking hate reading. I absolutely despise reading if it's not tangible, if it's not tangible, if it's not giving me any practical application. I don't want to hear about it. I just don't want to see it, don't want to hear it. If it's philosophizing for the sake of philosophizing, if I'm interested in that subject, I will read it. I've got books on Stoicism, that I tend to stay away from the books about Stoicism that are very, very metaphysical. If I'm in the mood to really explore the metaphysical dimension of a certain subject, a certain topic, and generally speaking, the metaphysical aspect is what attracts me to it in the first place. But once that's sorted out, now I want to know and I want to get to grips with the actual idea and how to apply it. But again, with all intuitive types, we get lost in the realm of thinking, in the realm of philosophizing, in the realm of making the connections, and we're more interested in these connections than we are in actually applying them to the real world. It's like when it comes to Stoicism, I can see Stoicism be applied by other people. I'm like, wow, he's applying that part of Stoicism, and wow, she's applying that, and wow, that's Stoicism. Where am I applying it? Where's my application of Stoicism? I guess the good thing about Stoicism is that there's only 3 real disciplines that you're doing. I'm not going to go into them. Well, one's about disciplining the passions and the aversions. The other one is disciplining... This is stupid. I've forgotten all 3 of them, but I knew them. They'll come back eventually, probably when I finish the fucking video. But anyways, like, there's only 3 disciplines, so you can apply them. And if you're cultivating your intuition and you're really sinking into the book and the knowledge, and you're really learning a lot about the subject, you will get quick little witty insights about Stoicism in your daily life. They'll just come to you in your head. You'll be doing something, and you'll realize, oh, I'm not in the present moment. I'm not in the present moment right now. Let me just get into the present moment. You just instantly get into the present moment. If you're talking to someone and you feel a bit irritated, you'll instantly get a feeling of, or a thought will come after the feeling of irritation. It's like, oh yeah, that's me reacting to an external event. Okay, well, I don't need to react to it because it's an external event. I don't control it. Or if you're even doing any thinking about something that's bothering you, you can very easily use the art of Stoicism or the science of Stoicism, depending on how your mind works, to discern with true wisdom. Is this something I control, or is this something out of my control? Okay, well, I'm unnecessarily worrying about this thing that I can't control. The worry and the anxiety that I'm feeling has got nothing to do with the subject itself. It's got to do with the thing that I can't control. I don't control this thing. That's why I'm worrying. I'm getting anxious about it, because I'm thinking about all these bad things that could happen on the basis of me not having control of this thing. Well, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time, and this is how Stoicism creeps into your life. So it's really fun. So we went from talking about introversion and extroversion to Stoicism. I didn't want to talk about Stoicism, so yeah, I'm going to let the divine explain that. I hope that's a fun video for you to watch. If you do have any ideas, videos, suggestions, and all that kind of juicy stuff, do let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy. No, I'm still here, man. I'm still here. Take it easy.